to wake is supposed to end things. The dream was frightening, and then you wake, and the fear stays behind in the dream where it was made. The room returns. The body finds its edges. Whatever chased you does not come through. It cannot cross from sleep into the lit room, because that is what waking is for. It is a door that only opens one way. You have trusted this your whole life without noticing. The heart slowing back down, the sheets, the ceiling, the ordinary weight of the limbs returning to their ordinary places. The thing that was chasing you a moment ago, already thinning, already losing its face, already becoming a thing you dreamed rather than a thing that is here. By the time your feet reach the floor, the night has been left where nights are left. You do not thank the waking for this. You do not even see it working. You simply rise, and the dream does not rise with you, and the not rising is so dependable. It has never once needed your attention. This is what the Word has always promised, that the waking is a boundary, that what happened on the other side of it stays on the other side. You wake, and you are returned, not just to the room, but to the person you were before the dream took you. The dream is sealed off. The word wake is the seal. This is not a summary of Christopher Nolan's Inception. It does not ask whether the top falls. It asks what waking was supposed to remove. It is one word from inside the film, followed until the seal stops holding. Wake. The archive begins where a man wakes, and the room returns, and something that entered the dream does not stay behind in it. In the film, there is a way to enter a sleeping mind and leave something there. Not to take, that is the ordinary theft the film opens with. The reaching into a dreaming person and lifting out what they know. The harder thing, the thing the film is named for, is the reverse. To go in and place something, a single idea, set down so deep in the mind that the person will wake believing it was always theirs. The idea, done correctly, does not feel planted. It feels grown. The person wakes and does not remember receiving it. They find it already inside them, wearing the texture of their own thought, and they act on it as they would act on anything they had concluded for themselves. The whole craft of the thing is that the seam does not show. The idea has to survive the waking. It has to still be there when the dream is gone, indistinguishable from what the mind made on its own. This is the premise the film builds its machinery around. But the film has already done it once, before any of the machinery starts. Years before, not as a job, as a mercy that became the wound the whole story is built on. Cobb and his wife were together in a dream that went too deep, a place beneath the ordinary layers, where a dream can be lived in for what feels like years. They built a world there. They grew old in it together. And at some point, the wife stopped being able to tell that it was a dream. She settled into the built world as though it were the only one, and forgot there was anywhere to return to. They had made it themselves, out of everything they knew. Buildings from the places they had lived, streets remembered and streets invented, a whole city raised out of two minds and the time they were given down there, which was not real time, but felt like decades, long enough to fill with a life. They had been young when they went down, and they grew old inside it, and they sat together at the end of a long imagined life, and it was To them, simply their life. The scaffolding had disappeared behind the living. That is what a world does when you stay in it long enough. It stops looking made. To bring her back, Cobb placed an idea in her, small and true within that world. This place is not real. He set it deep, so it would hold, so it would carry her up out of the built world and back to the waking one. It worked. She followed the idea up out of the dream. They woke together. The mercy succeeded, but the idea did not stay in the dream where it was needed. It came up with her. She woke into the real world, the actual one, the one with the real sky and the real children and the real years still ahead. And the idea was still running. This place is not real. It had been true of the dream. It was not true of the waking world. But the idea did not know the difference. It had been planted to survive a waking, and it survived this one. And it went on whispering the same sentence in a place where the sentence was now a lie. She could not set it down. She had woken. The dream was over, and the thing the dream put in her was still there, doing in the real world what it had been made to do in the false one, telling her quietly and constantly that where she stood was not where she really was. The kitchen was not a kitchen. The children were too vivid to be children. The morning light was a thing arranged to look like morning. Everything she touched, the idea touched first, and told her it was scenery. The body had come back. The idea had come back with it, and would not go where the dream went. Breath enters, breath leaves. Between breaths, the air holds its density. This is the thing the word wake was not built to hold. The word assumes a clean separation. On one side, sleep and everything that happens in it. On the other, waking and the real. The word promises that the crossing empties your hands, that you arrive in the morning carrying nothing from the night but the fading memory of having dreamt. The wife's waking did not empty her hands. She carried the idea across, and once it was across, waking could not touch it. She could not wake from it, because she was already awake. Waking was the thing she had already done, and it had not worked, because the idea was not in the dream anymore. It was in her, and you cannot wake from what is inside the one who wakes. There was no deeper sleep to rise from. She was at the top already, and the thing that was wrong was at the top with her. So she reasoned the way the idea required. If this world is not real, then to leave it is not to die. It is to wake one more time, one level further up, into the real world that must be waiting above this false one. The idea followed to its end, told her that the way back to reality was through her own death, and she followed it. She stepped off the ledge of a world she had been told was not real, trying to wake into one that was. She had been given an idea to save her. The idea outlived the dream, outlived the waking, and then outlived her. The word wake had always worked without being examined. In ordinary use, it works perfectly, and its perfection is invisible. You wake, the dream recedes, the day begins. The word does its job so reliably that no one examines it. It is like a floor. You do not check whether a floor will hold. You simply stand on it, and it holds, and the not checking is the whole relationship. The word wake is a flaw of that kind. It holds a promise you never state, that the waking is total, that nothing follows you up, that the person who opens their eyes is returned intact to the world the eyes open onto. You lean your whole life on this promise without once testing it, because it has never failed. Every morning, the dream has stayed behind. The flaw has always held. The promise is not in the word by itself. It is in how the word has always been used. Every time anyone has ever said, "I woke up," the dream was over and the day had begun, and the two did not mix. The word earned its meaning inside that unbroken run of mornings, thousands of them, each one confirming that waking empties the hands. The word does not carry a definition. It carries a history of every waking that behaved. And because every waking behaved, the word came to mean the thing that ends the night. Its meaning is the reliability. Take the reliability away and the word does not become false. It becomes something worse. It goes on being said in the old confident way over a situation it no longer fits. The film is about a flaw that does not hold, an idea that follows the sleeper up through the waking, out into the lit room, and goes on standing in the daylight as though the daylight was still the dream. And once that has happened, once something has crossed that was supposed to stay behind, the word wake loses the thing it was quietly guaranteeing. Waking still returns the body to the room. It no longer returns the person to the life they had before the idea entered. Waking became a smaller thing. It moved the body. It did not clear the mind of what the dream had left. For Cobb, after his wife is gone, the word breaks in the other direction. She is dead in the waking world, but she is not gone from him. He carries a version of her down into every dream he enters, a projection built from his guilt and his refusal to release her, appearing in the dreams he works in, sabotaging them because he cannot keep her out. She comes up in his mind the way her idea came up in hers. He wakes from each dream. She does not stay behind in it. She arrives when she is not wanted, in the middle of the work. A train comes through a city street where no train belongs. A face appears at a window on a level where it should not exist. He is trying to do a careful thing deep in someone else's sleep, and the memory he will not release walks into it and breaks it. He did not summon her. He cannot dismiss her. She is not a figure in the dream he can leave. She is a figure in him, and he takes her wherever he goes, up into waking and down into the next descent, because the thing that carries her never sleeps and never fully wakes. He can wake from the dream. He cannot wake from what the dream keeps handing back to him. The whole film is a man trying to get home. Cobb wants one thing beneath all the machinery: to return to his children, to be in the actual room with them, to have the waking world be the world he lives in again. Everything he does is aimed at that waking, the one clean waking that would put him back in his real life for good. In his memory, the children are always turned away. Two small figures on a lawn crouched over something in the grass, and he is calling to them, and they are just about to turn. And the memory ends before their faces come around. He has replayed it so many times that the not turning has become part of it. He cannot see their faces because the last time he saw them was the last time, and memory keeps him at that exact distance, close enough to call, never close enough to be answered. This is what he is trying to reach, not a house. the moment the faces finally turn. But the obstacle is not the dream. He can leave dreams. He is the best there is at leaving them. Timed falls, jolts, the drop that pulls a sleeper up through the layers. The dream is not his prison. His prison is the idea he cannot set down, the version of his wife he keeps alive by refusing to let her be finished, the guilt that reboots her in every dream he enters. That does not answer to waking. He can rise through every layer of sleep and arrive in the lit room, and she will be there in the next dream and the next, because she is not in the dreams. She is in the one who keeps waking. To get home, he does not need to wake. He needs to let the idea go. And this is the film's real turn, the one underneath the spinning top. The thing everyone remembers is the ending, the totem left spinning, the cut to black, the question of whether the last room is real. But that question is the film's surface. It asks, is he awake? The deeper question, the one the film actually resolves, is different. It asks, has he set the idea down? And that one, he answers. In the deepest layer, he finally speaks to the projection of his wife and tells her the truth, that she is only a shade, that the real her is gone, that he cannot stay with a memory he has kept alive past its life. He releases her. He lets the idea finish. That release is not a waking. No jolt causes it. No fall. It is not the body rising from sleep. It is the mind, at last, setting down the thing that waking could never reach. He does the one thing the word wake was never able to do for him. He empties his hands. The top is still turning, but it is no longer holding the deepest question. Whether the last room is a dream or not, he has done the thing that actually frees him. Not the waking, but the letting go. He walks away from the spinning top without watching it. The question the word wake asks, is this real? Am I out? Has stopped being the question. He is not trying to wake anymore. He has already set down what waking could not remove. The body woke many times. The idea did not until he released it. And the releasing was not a waking at all. Breath enters. Breath leaves. Between breaths, the air holds its density. The spinning top is still turning somewhere. On a table, in a room, the film will not tell us the status of the totem turns and the camera leaves before it falls. A whole world has spent years asking whether it topples. Dream or real? Asleep or awake? The question the top asks is the question of the word in its ordinary use, the clean either or, sleep on one side and the world on the other. But the man has already walked away from it. He does not watch the top. He has stopped needing the word to answer. Whether he is dreaming or awake, the thing that held him was never on that table. It was the idea he carried across every waking, and he has set it down, and no spin of a totem can report on that. The totem tests the floor. It cannot test the hands. Somewhere a sleeper wakes and the dream stays behind, the way it is supposed to. And somewhere else, someone wakes carrying a sentence the night placed in them. A thing said in a dream, or a grief, or a certainty about themselves that arrived while they slept and did not leave when the room came back. They open their eyes. The room returns. The body finds its edges, and the thing that entered does not stay behind. It is there in the first second of the morning, before the day has been decided, before the feet have found the floor. The sentence is already spoken. The low certainty about how things are, about how they will go, about what kind of person is waking into this room. It did not come from the morning. It was set down earlier, in some dark the person cannot locate, and it has learned to sound like their own voice, so that they wake each day and mistake it for the first honest thought of the day, rather than the oldest planted one. They have done what the word promised. They have woken, and it was not enough, because the word only ever promised to return the body to the room. It never promised to take back out what the dark had put in. The idea does not leave when the eyes open. It leaves, if it leaves, the way the man's finally left, not lifted out by waking, but set down by the one who carried it, in a moment that has nothing to do with sleep or morning, a moment the word wake was never able to name, not a door opening, a hand opening, the quiet, unwitnessed act of letting a thing be finished that had been kept alive too long, which no alarm can perform for you, which no morning arrives already having done. The body woke. The idea did not. And the difference between them is the whole distance a person has to cross after the eyes are already open. The distance the word wake cannot carry them, because waking ends at the edges of the body, and the thing that needs releasing is set down further in than any morning reaches. The archive remains.